Hey, Star Lovelies, it's a great time to be a soul. Today, we're talking about 3 ways to make money, be more visible, and align with your soul purpose in 2024. Industry titans like Amazon and visionary entrepreneurs are leveraging astrology to thrive in their ventures. According to prestigious sources like the New York Times and Fast Company and Fortune, astrology has woven its way into corporate culture, capturing the attention of millennials and Gen Z. In fact, 65% of them are ardent followers. Most people who follow astrology know about the ability to use the stars to forecast the timing for events, for industry trends, economic cycles, and seasonal rhythms. This is actually only the first layer of astrology. There are other ways to use astrology that most people don't know, and yet they're super impactful for your life and business. JP Morgan states millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. And when you know all of the ways to use astrology for business, I term it stars plus strategy, you gain more ease, support, and resources. So let's go ahead and talk about those. The first way, make more money. Now, this is what people typically use astrology for. It's for forecasting. Star navigation. It's an excellent tool. It helps you avoid pitfalls, and it highlights ways for you to take advantage of those prosperous stars. So you can use star navigation to set strategy. You can do this with like the overall theme of the energy for either the quarter, the month, or the year. You can use this to set intentions. You can align your milestones with that in the theme of the star energy. You can use it for planning. This is timing for launches or promotions. You can use this for knowing when to sell, knowing when not to sell, knowing when to do a big, huge launch and when to have a softer lead-in with a longer tail. You can actually know and use the star energy for streamlining and optimizing because there are better times to do that during the year than others. You can actually also use the stars to know when to create because there's a lot of creative energies that are available, and even when to take vacation. You can also use star navigation for gaining resources. You can use it for time and energy management. So the way you can use this to make more money is by knowing the best times to promote, and you can save time and money by avoiding the worst times. This is super powerful, and yet it's only the first layer. The second way is to be more visible. You can actually use the power of the stars. So you can use the stars to help you remove any blocks that are holding you back from creating your success. So when you open to the actual star energies themselves, you can rely on their flow and you can commit to your growth. So the one way you can do this is using the sun to know when the sun is in a certain zodiac sign, so you can lean into that star power so that the sun can help you propel. It gives you life force. So, for example, if the sun is in Aries, it's going to be a very fiery time. It's going to be for initiation. It's going to be for moving things forward. On the other hand, if the sun is in Virgo, it's going to be time to get to work, to roll up your sleeves, to dive in and get things done. Very earthly energy. It's very practical. It's very analytical. So you want to be able to take advantage of that. And this is available to everyone. The sun is super stable, super predictable. It moves about a degree a day. And so it spends about 30 days in a sign. And we know this, most people will know where the sun is at any given time because you can look at the zodiac and you know it's about the third week of the month to the next third week of the month. So it's about from the 20th or the 21st of one month to about the 20th or 21st of the next month. You can absolutely use this energy. And most people don't know that. Most people think, gee, I'm born a Scorpio, so therefore the Scorpionic energy is available to me. But every late October and early November, the Scorpio energy is available to everybody in order to be able to transform, to dive deeply, to roll up your sleeves and investigate and research. And so it's amazing when you actually know the star energy so that you know how to use it. The other one is the moon. Now, there's a lot of information out there on the moon, which is wonderful. So the moon moves through the zodiac sign once every other day and a half-ish. And so every 28 days, the moon moves through the entire zodiac. That's one way you can use the lunar power. The other way you can use the lunar power is depending upon whether it's waxing or waning. So when the moon is waxing, it means that it's going from new. So it's like almost like non-existence. It's called a black moon. And then it goes and it starts to build. And so it creates more energy until it reaches full. And then when it starts to wane from full to new, that's when it releases energy. So knowing when the cycles are for the moon is super important, because every single month you can use the moon to manifest and you can use the moon to release. And so that is unbelievably important to know, because enabling yourself to use the power of the moon moves the oceans. The moon is incredibly powerful. So the moon can move you. And so you can lean into her energy to know when to create, when to build, when to promote, when to sell, and when to release and optimize and streamline and to heal. So this is how you can use just those two luminaries. There's also ways to use Mercury and Venus. Mercury is great for communication. Mercury is great for connection. Mercury is great when you're thinking about negotiation and selling and making the deals. So knowing when Mercury is in a really good forward motion is important. And then knowing when Mercury is retrograde, which is about 3 times a year, is also important, because you're not going to want to initiate anything new when Mercury is retrograde. It's just not going to work out. There's going to be something that's hidden. There's going to be something that you're missing. Also with Venus, knowing where Venus is and how she is involved in both your energies and the energies in the world will help you attract your followers, will help you build your audience, will help you create a buyer's community. Mars helps you take action, and Jupiter is for good luck. So understanding the energies of the planets and then where they are, you don't need to do this for yourself. You can find an astrologer to do this interpretation for you. So that person can tell you, look, this is a good time to do this. This is not such a good time to do that. I do a weekly forecast at the top of every week and give you the tip for business. And I give you information for you personally, because it's so helpful to know. And you can tuck it in your back pocket and you can lean into that every single week, because it's important to know not only what is happening in the stars from a timing perspective, i.e. star navigation, but what's going on with their power and how you can lean into their power. And again, talking about being more visible, we're usually not visible because we're hiding in some way. We're not visible because we're hesitant. We're having a fear of success or having a fear of failure. 95% of all CEOs fear success and failure. So you're in good company. This is not something that's not a popular, unfortunately popular situation. However, it's when you know the star power, you can wear that star power, lean into that star power, use that star power, rely on that star power in order for you to be able to come out and be more visible. Because think about it, you're not going to be making those sales and making those numbers that you want if you're not visible. Now, the third way to use the star is to align with your soul purpose. Now, when you align with your soul purpose, we can say soul mission. We can say life mission. We can say life purpose. We can say, soul destiny. They're of a piece. And so when you know how you're living your stars, when you are aligned with your stars, this measures how your free will either deviates or supports you on your soul journey. Here's the deal. The stars are written in the sky, right? Like, so when you were born, the stars, you had a painting of the stars, and that's what your soul said yes to the yes for you to be able to have these strengths, have these challenges, have these gifts, have these things you wanted to work on, have these, kind of people in your life, have these weight, like the geography, like literally everything, single thing in your life. That's called fate. That's like what you said yes to from a fate perspective. But you have free will. So the difference between fate and destiny is what you choose to do. You can live your destiny or not. You can deviate from your fate. You can shift it. You can literally do so much. You have the power because you were given free will. So this is where it gets really, you could say complicated, or you can say filled with opportunities, where you say, gee, guess what? This is what the painting is in the stars for this month, this week, this year. But if you're not doing and leaning into it, if you're not taking advantage of, if you're deviating from it, it could be in the negative where, for example, say an astrologer tells you that you have an incredible ability to invest in the stock market or make an amazing amount of money in the third quarter of the year, and you don't do anything in that third quarter. You don't invest at all. You don't look at any of the financial markets. You don't make any sales. You go and take vacation for 4 weeks. You hide. You play mind games. I'm just kind of going through like different things that could happen, right? Guess what? Even though it was fated for you to be able to have this great lift, this great buoyancy for money, if you don't take action, it's not going to happen. Conversely, there could be a huge roadblock. There could be this, this thing in front of you that is, guess what? It's going to be impossible for you to be able to hire anybody or to be able to grow your business the next 3 months. Guess what? You can get really facile and really nimble and use the energy and lean into your tenacity, and you can make it work for you. For example, if the most of the planets are retrograde, it's hard to gain forward momentum. But what if you had to launch? Like that happens to me. I'm an astrologer, right? So using the stars strategically, I would want to avoid the availability of energy that is going to be a pitfall for me. I would want to avoid doing things during retrograde. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes it literally must do something. It could be the solstice where we have a lot of energy. It could be the top of the year where we have a lot of energy. Have to do things. And so I create a whole different approach to do it. I do it in a very methodical, very personal, both strategic as well as tactical. And I have, this is what I call like the longer lead in and the longer tail, because I know it's not going to be this big bonanza launch. The energy's not just going to support that. However, I also know that it is the time of the year that I must do something. So this is where there could be something written in the stars, but you say, gee, guess what? I need to do this anyway, so I'm going to figure out a way around it. I'm going to work with this in a different way so that I'm working with it and I'm not just butting heads with it. So when you're talking about how you're living your stars, measuring and knowing where you are in your star path really helps you determine what your next steps are. So what I've come up with is my success making do you know, like, and trust yourself methodology. And this helps you achieve your life purpose, helps you step into your power, and it helps you increase your prosperity. Because your mind gauges how you know yourself, your heart indicates how you like yourself, and your will demonstrates how you trust yourself. So your mind identifies what you think. It's how you make decisions, and it's why you align with your soul mission. So when you know yourself, you stop second-guessing your decisions and you start following your intuition. Now, your heart demonstrates how you like yourself, what your particular wisdom is, and ways to say yes to accept support and also yes to opportunities. And when you truly like yourself, you stop seeking outside validation and you start reclaiming your power. And when you stand in your power, you're much more able to stay in your own lane. You're much more able to collaborate effectively. You're much more able to take advantage of growth opportunities because you're not always, questioning somebody else's motives or kind of hindering your ability to take advantage of something because you're defining boundaries or you're putting protection up. You want to be more open than that because you want to be expansive. Now, your will indicates how you trust yourself and whether you accept individual, collective, and universal gifts. What does that mean? Do you take advantage of, let's take some action. Let's roll up your sleeves and dive in. Because when you trust yourself, you stop experiencing lack through inconsistent success and start living your birthright of being rich and powerful, making big impact and leaving your legacy. So bottom line, you can use star alignment to align your mind, knowing how you're living your stars and handling your resources, removing blocks, liking how star energy integrates with your soul's energy for clearing your pathway, and manifesting desires, trusting your star imprint to boost your ability to create the life you want. So this is not an easy thing to figure out, right? So, literally you ask yourself, well, gee, how am I knowing, liking, and trusting myself? I don't know. This is why I came up with a 12-question quiz. This is why I've situated every single thing that I do is based on how you know yourself, and that's how you step into your purpose. That's how you use star navigation. how you like yourself. That's how you open your heart. That's how you take advantage of opportunities and accept support, and how you are, using the star power, and then how you trust yourself. That's the money shot. That's how you're able to receive. That's how you're able to create prosperity that is ever growing. That's how you're able to market and sell and communicate and really create a scalable business. And so that's how you're living your stars and fulfilling your soul destiny. Because this is the thing, we were not saying yes to life to have lack and struggle and suffering, and for our mind to play games with us, and for our heart to be closed, and for us not to take action. We were saying yes to life to be wide open, to be able to shine our brilliance, to be able to make big impact, to be able to connect with others, to be able to love deeply, and to be able to create abundance and joy and ease. And so we want to know where we are. Let's measure where we are on that. And that's where my 6 intuitive success signatures come in, because it measures how your energy is working with the stars. It also takes like a litmus test of how you are approaching life, because the stars written in the sky don't talk about free will. They don't talk about how you're approaching life. So we want to be able to measure both. So when you use the stars and know what's going on in the stars, and then you do it strategically by measuring how you're knowing, liking, and trusting yourself, that's where you are able to create the life that you want to live, and to be able to grow your business so that it supports you and it works for you instead of you always working for it. So go ahead and follow the stars through my weekly forecast, my top of the month forecast. Align with the star power through the moon and the sun when I do the lunar rituals, and also be able to know how your energy is affected or affecting the star power by knowing what your intuitive success signature is. So the success signature quiz is yourstarbmappedsuccess.com. You can go ahead and take the 12-question quiz. And you're going to want to whitelist my email address, because I give you a lot of gifts. That's just my jam. So I'm going to be giving you your money imprint. I'm going to be giving you information, whether quarterly or annually, for the forecast. I'm going to be giving you information about how you are leaning into your power or not. I'm going to be giving you information about what things could be, pitfalls for you. And so you're going to want to go ahead and get my emails, because that's going to be super helpful for you. And continue to listen to this podcast, because I'm going to be here early and often. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Remember to check out my website at kimwoods.com for my latest Star Power for Success live workshop. And to find out your intuitive success signature, take my 12-question Do You Know, Like, and Trust Yourself quiz at knowyourlifequiz.com. I've so enjoyed our time together, as it's filled with the power of the stars plus strategy to clear the pathway to your success. Until next time, happy soul tidings.